Killing Slomo by Dr. William O. Idiot. We left you with a fairly update of the iron lung with Hillary, and actually Hillary, the iron lung had some sort of problem where Hillary fell out of it onto the freeway. Got skin up quite a bit, a lot of abrasions, scuffs on the shoulders. The clothes were ripped quite a bit. That when she lost one shoe, her face, his hair, everything is, I mean, you wouldn't even have, I think if you looked at her for a little while, you would say, well, that's probably Hillary. Anyway, they recognized she was walking down the freeway after the catastrophe when the truck doubled back, dragging the whole thing sideways behind it, saw that something must have happened. Hillary had fallen out of it. They recognized that. That was a very nerve-wracking until they saw her. Of course, it was raining. I forgot to mention the extraordinary cats and dogs, and they saw about a mile away this little lady walking with binoculars. They saw it was Hillary. She had fallen out a few miles back and had actually already managed to walk about a half a mile toward the circling back pickup truck. She was skin up really bad. Anyway, since then, she's gotten back into the iron lung. They've done a little bit more quick welding for one of the wheels that had been the problem. It had gotten sucked up under one of the other wheels, and they were rubbing against each other. And that had caused it to jerk suddenly when that happened. And Hillary had been thrown out between the two dollies that were coupled together and put together with some cables and duct tape, and they had actually been rolling along pretty well in spite of the very small wheels that were not really made and designed for the purpose of flying down the freeway at 60-65 miles an hour, but they were holding up, surprisingly enough. The American engineers, or maybe it was German, I'm not sure. We didn't get a good look at those wheels. It was late at night, and the fellow was kind of a little bit annoyed that he had been shaken out of his bed at 2:30 a.m., the owner of the hardware store. But he cooperated when he saw who was present. Of course, he was a Hillary supporter, hoping that the globalists would support his next loan to stay afloat, because he was going bankrupt like everybody else in the city. But if they could just get an extension on their loans, you see, they would vote for Hillary, and the globalists would loan them more money, which of course would put them in more debt, and Hillary, the next Hillary, probably be Chelsea. We undecided whether it's a homozygous or heterozygous cretin gene that's holding her together. But it might, if she's heterozygous, she could get in there and she would be like some of the people like Megyn Kelly is a heterozygous, trying to stay on the good side, but you can see there's a lot of bad side. You can look at it and see the division in the character. You can often see this if you have a chance to study a person. That's the reason we get so angry at news people. We get to study them as people being who they are. So Megyn Kelly is a migraine personality, had a migraine, she cheats, she's a sly one, but she's trying to play the good side. So is Bill O'Reilly. You can study him. He can't quite make it to the good side. He's a half and half, you know, he's undecided. He's a person that says there might be a God, but I doubt it, kind of. All right, move on. Brett Home, he's dead inside his mind. There's nothing in there. He's just a dud making it to the end. So there's no reason to even investigate that personality. The one you can trust is Jeanine Pirro and Sean Hannity. Even if they are a little bit too much one way or the other, at least you can trust you're seeing what you're getting, and they're not dishonest people. The other people are heterozygous or they're homozygous for a subhuman way of going through life, which the globalists have identified and advanced them. They call it Luciferian, and if you're into the old legends, Christian and Jewish legends, and you call it sociopathic, if you like but I'll tell you, as a psychiatrist, I'm not satisfied. This is not a simple sociopath, okay? Somebody like Hillary is more than just a simple sociopath. Simple sociopaths, frankly, I mean, they're uninteresting. They're a dime a dozen, and they're not interesting. Hillary is interesting, okay, the same way that the personality of Cleopatra, Medusa, or Lady Macbeth is interesting. So to explicate it and to criticize it is something these people put out on a plate for all of us, okay? Otherwise, she would have hired more than just 4 assassins to kill Slomo. She would have had all the Comey's boys, which, by the way, there you go again. I've known a lot of FBI. Matter of fact, I bet I've known as many of them as Comey. Not really, but I've known a lot, okay? And I guarantee you, none of the people I've ever known who have worked for the FBI would approve of Comey. They'd all be secretly saying, I wish that guy was dead. Those people don't, they take right and wrong real seriously, but Comey is he's probably heterozygous because he stays in that nice personality like Hillary does, and then, but on the inside, he's conniving like it's a hidden snake, okay, under the blonde. He's a hidden snake. It doesn't look poisonous. Some snakes, believe it or not, most poisonous snakes, they look a little bit poisonous. But there's an occasional snake that doesn't look poisonous. Okay, Hillary is I mean, a person like me could identify her very quickly as a poisonous snake. I'd never pick it up until I knew. But some snakes, like a little green snake or something like that, Jill Stein, for instance, that's a little green snake. I used to keep those as a child. They're kind of like a little reptile pet. Anyway, we get back to the reptile business. In the internet, the people that are, these are the, believe it or not, the geniuses of our, or the savants of our people who are on the internet, the ones that are the most intelligent and the most insightful compared to what you're used to on TV. Anyway, the internet understands these people like Hillary, and, well, not Hillary, but the ones behind her as having a reptile nature. In other words, they just eat something and move on. They don't think about anything, okay? They don't worry about whether it's right or wrong or whether there's a God or anything. They somehow know that at an early stage of their lives, they were told by one of their kind, older, that this was a secret that most people didn't know, that there was not a God and there's no punishment and so on. So you actually, you'll advance further and have a more rich life if you use exactly the opposite of everything thought to be good. In other words, they become Luciferians. Science is superior to religion. That started in the 50s. Okay, this is ancient modern history. Anyway, Hillary and Obama and those kind of people, and a lot of you guys probably are Luciferians. All the scientists are Luciferians, except for the ones that keep their Christianity. An atheist is a Luciferian, okay, period. And it has psychological causes. These people have very deep-seated things that they're trying not to know about themselves and also about what they've done in life. They can't face the religious way of looking at it. And this pushes them off to the side of mankind inside themselves. They don't look at themselves as being innocent. And they won't accept the idea that sin can be forgiven. Their sin, the one they know about, is greater, they think, and it would never be forgiven, or it shouldn't be forgiven. So they're put at this kind of negative. They join up with Lucifer as being the opposite of God, the one that rebels. And they try to get through life with, as Ford would say, without as much anxiety as that they would have otherwise. And also they would profit from just not having to deal with guilt. And they could be deceptive and deceitful as we get to watch these people. We've all got some of this nature, but some have it, as I say, homozygous. That is, that the whole genetic proclivity is already tilted in that direction. They're murderers at the beginning of their lives, even before they get a chance to make the final decision. Hey, Doug. It looked like Ronaldo, but it wasn't. Ronaldo, I told you, Lopez, he's somehow now they escaped across the border. We're not going to, you know, they want to keep the border open so all the Ronaldos can come up here and attack people like me, which is very obvious. We've got our defenses though. Believe it or not, it's going to be something like, it's going to be the reverse of the Templars, because the Templars, some of those guys were globalists. But we're going to defend Christianity in the old sense, okay? And it won't be Catholicism, and it won't be any of that other nonsense. It's going to be the basic idea of Christianity is going to be that you approach everybody with an open heart and in a state of goodwill and good faith, and not in a state of deception and deceit. That's what it means to be a Christian. This is Slomo, and that's true whether you agree with it or not. Good night and goodbye, but we'll be back with another chapter to tell you Hillary's still going to make it out here to try to kill Slomo. And of course Slomo's not nervous at the present time because she's having such trouble lumbering across the country in that stupid but very advanced and scientific piece of hardware known as a New Age iron lung. And of course she's scarred up, but she's back. They've got her back in the iron lung, and the truck is hitched and they fix the wheel and off they go again. Passed through a little town with a lot of signs, and actually it was Black Lives Matter signs. They were all the people had been bussed in for Black Lives. All of them get marijuana and $50 a head, but to stay out there and have fun and cause a riot if they can. And they're all cheering for Hillary, and they got hang Trump, Trump's a racist, yeah. He's a KKK. They all of them got those signs. Look like they're manufactured signs. None of them are drawn with crayons. I don't understand that. These people must be very good artists. Anyway, Hillary is a wonderful person. There's no doubt about it. That is, if you like poisonous snakes.